Our next questioner is also a musician. He goes by the pen name Da Vinci and is renowned for his dynamic form of hip-hop. He is most notable for doing many things simultaneously and can even play music with his feet and face.
Thank you. I'm here with my group, Soliloquists of Sound, and we've dedicated our lives as both people and musicians to inspire everyone to recognize the power that they have as individuals. And it feels really great to be among so many other people that have dedicated their lives to the same thing. So thanks to everyone here, as well as Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Wow.
Can you comment on the children that are being born these days, children like Akiani? They seem to be born with great gifts and maturity and wisdom that's well beyond their years. What is their role in this time?
Yes, I'll be glad to inform you. You just remember there was one little beautiful girl, Akian? Kamarik? Yes? Okay. She's one of the what we call indigo children, or crystal children. They are born from a different dimension, from a higher dimension, but unlike us, they have the ability to retain their divinity, or at least some part of it, so that they can bring to this world some different gifts for us. Yes, we are all born from different dimensions, Mr. Da Vinci. We are all divine. We are all born from a higher level of consciousness, from what I know. It's just that we have been degraded. We have come to this world and we have been confused. And the negative force of this realm has been deluding us and making us into what we have not willed to be. We should have been much better than what we are. That's why we are never satisfied with ourselves. No matter how much money we have, no matter how successful, big house, big car, something inside us always makes us feel something missing. Yes, something we don't know what. That is our divine origin trying to wake us up. Indigo children are the children who have exceptional talent for their age. They know more way beyond their years. And people who have studied or spent time with these special gifted children have told us about them. These are the youth who are born from higher dimensions and can retain some part of their intelligence, their wisdom, and their talent, their quality of the higher dimension. Many children don't have to be indigo children. From the time of their birth until about 3-4 years of age, many of children still can remember heaven. Sometimes they talk with each other about heaven. Sometimes they told their parents about heaven. But the parents would not listen, would not understand, because the parents have already forgotten. After 3-4 years of age, we have forgotten our origin. So the indigo children are the ones who still continue to remember after the 4 or 5 years of age. Lucky for them. Yes, perhaps it's heaven's will to let these children come and remember their divine quality, so that we have hope. So to remind us that we could attain like that. We could be like them, or perhaps we were like them. Yes, we are. We are like them, Mr. Da Vinci. Through my meditation, through my search of heaven and earth, I know we are all divine, Mr. Da Vinci. If only I can show it to you. If only I can let you know what I know. If only I can remove all the obstructive substances that many of us have been misled about and put into this temple, the divine temple, and blur our consciousness. That's the reason we have forgotten our godly origin. That's the reason why we forgot that we are truly the children of God. We have all heard that we're children of God, but we don't know it. We don't really know it because we obstructed ourselves. Because the negative force in this world is too heavy, they kind of surround us, they kind of oppress us so that we could not struggle to fight against it. And then we succumb to this negative force and degrade ourselves more and more every day. That's why many masters came to this planet since times immemorial to try to lift us up, to try to remind us. But the thing is, it's not that easy because we have been sleeping too long. Now we are talking about the children, that they have retained some part of their divinity. They have come because they have found that the atmosphere, perhaps on our planet, has become more suitable, more refined, and brighter for them. Our planet has been changing recently for the better, you see, as more and more people are doing virtuous deeds, practice deep meditation, spiritual disciplines, and adopting the compassionate vegan lifestyle. Nowadays, because of the communication, it's so advanced. So the vegan lifestyle or spiritual lifestyle spreads very easily, unlike the time of Jesus. So nowadays, we don't have those harassment from misunderstanding like the time of Jesus or the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Also, our human evolution has benefited from the spiritual masters who have been gracing our earth through our history to bless us. So the atmosphere of our world today has become more purified, despite the setbacks that we have also at the same time due to the uncompassionate way that we have been misled into living. Nevertheless, the part that can be purified, it has been purified. So our planet atmosphere has been receptive, uplifted to these higher dimensional levels. So some higher dimensional beings can come here. Perhaps more in the future, these so-called indigo or crystal children have come to join us as we continue to purify our world. We will have more and more of them. They serve as innocent inspiration and reminder toward our own innate higher qualities as we see their good energy, creativity, intelligence, wisdom, and love put into practice. For some of us who may not know much about these young people, I will explain a little more. These children, they are born with many talents, including both artistic and technological, way beyond their tender age. Their faith in the divine gives them a simple but clear sense of life's purpose. And not only do they share their creative talents freely with the world, but they also have a lot of inborn virtues. Their nature is of unwavering honesty that can never be compromised by this world. They're lucky. They dislike suffering and injustice. They are very sensitive to people's and animals' feelings. They have more or less telepathic talents. They have intuitive feeling very strong. Yes. So they are very sensitive to other people's feelings and animals' feelings. Oftentimes they could communicate with animals since a young age already. Because their purity naturally repels substances such as chemicals, pollution, and unwholesome foods. These children are also vegetarian or vegan by their own choice, since very, very young, as their nobler selves would only allow them to be so. So their presence is a blessing, is a gift for the continued development of our world. And at the same time, they are an encouraging signal that our planet is on an elevating path. We can only wish that more and more of them may come, and better yet, that more and more of their wonderful qualities will emerge In every one of us, even as ordinary adults, we can cultivate spiritual consciousness still. Our creativity, intelligence, and other abilities similar to what we see in these indigo children. We all have the capacity and potential to be higher beings. We have just been suppressed by incorrect choices in life. We have been poisoning ourselves by misinformation. But all these wonderful qualities, divinity, can be awakened anytime. I know that because I have my own experience. I wasn't born enlightened. You see, I searched for enlightenment, and I reached it as around 30 years of age, a similar age of the Buddha. Buddha wasn't born enlightened despite all the myths about him. You see, we still have a chance. In our group, many people older than you practice spiritual meditation, and they regain their divinity just the same like the indigo or more even. So we have choices. We have chance. We can do anything we want because we are the children of God. Just believe it. It's truly like that. Now back to Earth. We can always regain all this divinity. Truly, I promise you with all honesty and honor that we can have it. All of you sitting there, whatever age you are, if you don't even have any experience about heaven, if you don't even have any talent before, you don't even know what to meditate on, any one of you can attain this divinity again, reclaim it again, provided we have the right counteraction, see? And the first step is to switch to a more compassionate lifestyle, because that is what we are. We are compassion. A compassionate vegan diet is the basic way of higher being, a mark of a true human being. A true human being would never kill. A true being would never harm another, even if his own life is threatened. A real gentleman steps wisely, understanding that all beings are connected, and that by taking a life compromises his own human spirit and bringing the bad retribution of killing upon him. So it is not solely the responsibility of these children to improve the world's consciousness level. We must all work together to bring heaven closer to earth. We can all do it. It's so simple. In my group, even children 5, 6 years old can meditate and can hear the inside melody, can talk to God. If we want to bring heaven to earth, if that is our wish, so shall it be. Thank you, and bless you, Mr. Da Vinci.
Thank you.
Many thanks, Supreme Master Ching Hai, for the scope of your vision and for reminding us that we are all God's children.
Our next questioner, Mr. David Canther, is a former pastor and founder of Acts World Relief. This organization provides hot meals, emotional care, emergency supplies, and medical assistance to those suffering from disasters. Acts Mobile Kitchens and medical units also provide inner-city relief.
Master, my heart was touched as you were sharing about Hurricane Katrina. And as you know, we were there cooking with our kitchens hundreds of thousands of meals when the McDonald's were all closed. And so we took the quantum leap of faith by offering to hundreds of thousands of people vegan meals.
Bless you, bless you.
It was actually quite a shock when we put up signs on the top of the large tents that we brought in, and we could offer different types of food that we listed what they were. The line that was always the longest was for vegetarian and vegan meals.
Oh, incredible, incredible.
The Red Cross was so interested in that it was a risk, and they contacted me later and said, actually, you're the first organization that we would like to in the future offer to help pay for some of those meals because we can see how the community wants a broader amount of the choice of the kind of food they can eat.
Ah, wonderful. Good news. Good news. Even in such a desperate situation.
There are 3 questions which I have. What is the role of animals' divine presence on earth? Do their roles and relationships with human beings deeply connect us further? And lastly, are they helping us to reach the golden era?
Okay, Mr. David Canther. First of all, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because you're vegetarian and you offer vegetarian meal to people. And that you give me the good news that the longest lines are the vegetarian food choice. I'm so happy. That means we have chance to save the planet because more and more people want to be vegetarian. Very good sign, Mr. Cantor. You see, even in such a desperate situation where people have nothing anymore and they just need food to survive, they still adhere to the vegetarian diet. Oh, God be praised. Oh, now I answer your questions. You deserve it. Only 3 questions, I could answer you 300. Nice to hear good news. Nice to see good people. Mr. Cantor, the role of all wondrous animals and their presence on earth is to bring divine love onto this planet. The animals are so close to God, we humans can hardly imagine. We hear about plenty of examples like the dogs that rescue disaster victims, who otherwise would not have been found without their extraordinary abilities. They can guide the blind and even sense when a person is about to have a seizure and dial the emergency telephone number. And then there are other animals we don't see as often, yet with a heavenly role that is just as vital, like the whales and the seals that populate the vast ocean covering 70% of our earth, who bless us tremendously by their powerful and love-filled presence. You know, in Vietnam, people built some small temples along the coast, many of them, to worship the whales because they want to show gratitude to the whales. Many of the boat people have been rescued by whales from the stormy sea or from a capsized boat. The whales rescue them in numbers. Since time immemorial, the Vietnamese people have always built temples in gratitude to the whales. And these are the true stories. Not only they bless us invisibly, they also rescue people at sea. And this is very, very common in Vietnam. You go there, you see many whales temples. You still can talk to the people who still stay alive due to the whales rescue. I mean, the story is alive. It's not like a fairy tale or a legend. It is a living story still, even recently. But sadly, they are still seen by some humans as seal fur or whale meat. But these 2 animals are some of the many animals who literally radiate love to balance our planet. As we are being deluded more and more into the killing of the animals and destroying the environment, the atmosphere of our planet is also being depleted of love and happiness. Therefore, these animals, they were born here in order to balance it, to help us to fill in the void of love that we lost through our inconsiderate actions. But sadly, we kill them. We kill our benefactors just because we are blind. We are blind spiritually, telepathically, and psychically, that we don't see who are friends and who are not. Sadly, the friends we can see, like the whales, the seals, but we don't recognize. But the enemies we don't see, but we listen to. That is the force of evil, the force of the negative in this world. We don't see the force, we don't see that power, we don't see it manifested, personified, but we listen to it daily. So we do many wrong things that we regret. Or at the time of death, we regret. Because at that time we can see whatever wrong things we do, just like watching cinemas. And we feel very sorry that we have done such things due to not knowing, due to being misled. So these animals, they are really our friends, they are our benefactors. But many of us kill them. If we can contact some of the best animal communicators, they would tell you that whales are the greatest love. They house the greatest love of the divine for our planet. Seals also. In one of the conferences last time, I have told the audience about different quality of love of different animals. And whales and seals are one of the few, number one, in loving power. Now, that's not me who say that. It is through meditation, and I have been informed like that. So, if we kill these beings, we are really killing ourselves. We take out the balance that is greatly needed at this time, especially at this time in our dire situation. Now, if we let them live, then they will be able to bring back to earth the powerful, unconditional love, like that of the mother for her child. And they do their noble mission knowingly. They knowingly do it.
What was your impression of today's conference on climate change?
It was beautiful. It was inspirational. It was necessary. The urgency was conveyed in just the right tone. I can't really imagine any one person feeling anything but inspired leaving.
And Ken, what was your impression of the event today?
It was a very positive message. I'm not a vegetarian myself. My daughter is. And we didn't know that would be one of the themes of the conference because we just understood it to be about climate change. But it's a very positive message that methane is also one of the greenhouse gases that you need to be concerned about. Well, as I said, my daughter's influenced us a lot. She's a young adult and encourages us and brings home meals. She's been a vegetarian since she was 6. So that little story she was telling about indigo children where you feed your child something and they spit out the meat, that's what my daughter did when she was 4, would feed her rice and chicken and she would spit out the little pieces of chicken. So that resonated with me that children can come with that.
And what was your impression of what Supreme Master Ching Ai had to say?
She seems like a very beautiful lady and very positive about what the individual can accomplish by maybe taking a vegetarian burger instead of a meat burger to start off with. I gave up coffee a couple years ago, so maybe I'll start on vegetarian food.
All information concerning the scientific evidence of climate change and its solution is in Supreme Master Ching Ai's book, From Crisis to Peace, free for download at crisistopeace.org.